What I've done is disassembled the Bible into my record kept of the James Ussher chronology. Where is it still kept at? Wow, in the year 2020, we kept it. We have it on Internet Cult over there. As Bible Invalid kids, the Internet Cult over there, we're at a medieval setting of this internet thing where I'm willing to record myself and say, no, cult, just turn off. We need to be done with you. We need to be done with the Bible, done with the James Ussher chronology, done with everything associated with Bible, done with all scholarship of Bibles, collapse all of our seminarians, just be done preaching the Bible, because you need to do that in order to get accustomed to what the Bible actually contained without the legend of Jesus put out there like that as a no, just go to my website. The Bible contained nothing but a take it away from a cult in the year 2020 is what I found. Is what I found cult on internetgotquestions.org. The Bible contained nothing, and I'd been working on this so long, it made sense to me. Here we are in the year 2020. I was baptized in the church. I got to rip the Bible out of their hand. Come on, we're done with the Bible. We're done with it. I'm Ben David. Give it to me. 6,000 year earth done away with all at once. Just done. Why do that? To collapse as a cult. You need that in earth history. Yeah, you never tried. Write your retirement along with putting God back into the Bible and how it took me the year and a half to get you to accept reality with God face to face. That's crazy reality to refuse to accept. And the only you want to learn about God, well, God and Moses spoke face to face. The Bible's invalid after that. Cult. Bible is invalid after that. 1611 invalid. Cult. New Testament doesn't count after those two verses. Joshua wrote. Joshua wrote. Do you want to know why he wrote that? The one time when Moses stepped out and God said in the hammer, here, he nudged Joshua, you want to write your first line of Torah, and he did. And so Joshua wrote, hey, God's right there. And he didn't let you know it was albino doing that, but the tent of meeting, door of the tent of meeting coming down in the cloud. Hey, you can't see me coming down in the cloud. Coming down in the cloud. You can't remember the story. It's a medieval legend. Coming down in the cloud. He sucked your brain dry, cult organization. You got nothing. He sucked your brain dry. So dry that you can't accept reality for some reason. And your organizations you're preaching to can't accept the reality that you're just an entertainer, a pastor. You're only an entertainer. A medieval entertainment in the year 2020. Pastor was sermon booth. No more. No more. You're all invalid. No more pastors. We don't want you. I don't want any more of you. The Bible is mine. We need to turn it into something you actually understand and study. It's a medieval. You don't understand a word in it. It's a medieval. It's medieval King James Elizabethan English. It's a medieval Puritan disappointment of you forgot the whole where the Church of the Brethren go. You know, the bald senile idiot who driving a Mercedes. Yes, nice car, but you're that dumb fast. You took that cult from being 250 people. You're that dumb, ignorant, stupid. What you're doing to your congregation there in Toppenish, Washington, Kennewick, man, 9,200-year-old fossil remain. I'm observing the takedown of the Bible Church. Cult. You need to turn off. Cult. On the internet. You guys just need to go. Bye. We have a lot of data to go through, Colt. You have a significant loss. It's never been valid. Colt. Colt on the internet. The Bible has never been valid. Ever. It didn't come together invalid. English, invalid. Done. Cult on the internet. The James Ussher, The Annals of the World, Cult on the internet. Yep. Cult. No more. It was medieval. Invalid. Medieval. Cult on the internet. Come on. So, cult in church sermon booths, be done. I don't have a lot to teach because you're invalid. You're a little lost to nothing. That's you do it still, to be honest. So, welcome to the OTO, which you can see through the dark haze of everything if you have to. James Ussher was pretty fucking medieval. But, and so you had medieval scholarship in your his medieval dating of a book you couldn't quite get. He kept it as a medieval legend. James Ussher himself. We went back and got rid of the King James version of the Bible. Wait. Yeah, no. That man, James Ussher himself. Whoa, no. He compiled a different legend elsewhere, and when he put his finger into the King James version of the Bible, it was already set in stone and had nothing to do. So in 2005, 2010, when Jimmy Swagger fucked the King James version of the Bible, 1859 didn't catch up with them. The October 23, 4004 BC is a valid date. 4004 is not valid. However, 3760 is a valid date. However, it doesn't match with the erosion of the Grand Canyon in the United States. Yeah. So now the 770 at the Age of the Alps made a lot better since utilization of the Trinity College collapse had even been there. You're medieval. Wow, cult. You're puff on the Pope cult. We're at the beginning stages. Where do you go back out to rip that fucking thing away from all of you? Because you are all at some stage of, whoa, still medieval. All of you, still medieval. Fascinating, like hallucinative. None of you can tell quite everything, which is acceptably well. But however, you do it eyes wide, blind, dumb, to the point where you don't even notice albinism is not a genetic deformity. But however, the albinism that you get on occasion that is the genetic deformity is a characteristic of that layer of purity from coming from the Garden of Eden up there in Norway, and that's still being around in the year 2020. So you're all emotionally stupid. Got questions that call too far gone. All humankind, 7.7 billion of you with that example. What you're missing out on. Too dumb for Earth history by not being real humankind. Do. Got an 1859 theory to close. Duh. Look at your bald, senile, stupid, fucking bubbling. He's preaching from a sermon booth. He's I can't even keep my head up straight. He's fuck. He's 71 years old and he doesn't even know the age of the earth is for real. Yeah, you can't believe it. 43-year-old engineer. We got to get rid of the Bible now because he's so dumb and immoral and incompetent with that book. Still, it is such an egregious medieval. You can't keep the book. Just be done with the book. Be done with it, cult. Be done with you. Be done with you. And be everything done at the same time. Everything done. And done with cult. Done with, I knew you were there. I kept tracking you. You're my yeah. I had the Googleplex Bibles bookmarked on my Spark Station, and that page, it was like going home and when I would just sit there and I'm going to fiddle with my hip airplane. There in the cube at Sun Microsystems, it was such a lame job. They were all Magic Booth furries, and wow, playing Dungeons and Dragons and whatnot. It was that era. So you were just eyes wide blind to the Middle Ages, Cold War era, where God magically poofed the entire generation of '99 through to the year 2020 into furries, and you're all wobbling furries. You go on these little strings. Seriously, kids, you don't pray. So you're all on these wobbly little strings. And man, when you do pray, your head drops, and it's because God's beating you on the back of your head. Stop praying to me. He doesn't want you to pray. He doesn't like it if you're not walking His message of the care and love of what He made for you and put here for you to take care of and garner and protect. If you're not doing that, if you're not protecting everything around the all legitimization of all life, hey, what's right there? Are we protecting it? Do we understand it? Do you even understand the Middle Ages? You don't understand it. God wants you to understand that you don't understand it. Cult organization is so far off that you had to see as the King James Version of the Bible was coming together into the 80 books to the 75 books over there. How well did they compare it in their closed room sessions of not really talking? And how did it get to 66 books? When? Why? Well, how did Luther get involved in that? We in the Lutherans are the same with the Messianics, Jews, cults. Both are the same. Sauline cults, Lutheran Sauline cult. I'm Ben David. Messianic Sauline cult. I'm Ben David. Batikva. Hey guys, I was there. I'm Mojo. Yeah, to give me your book, tapping through Torah, missing the letter. Hey. Yo, fuck. Everyone collapsed. That's the letter hey. Hey. The manifestation of Nui. Did you know that one? Yeah, so when we're talking about John the Immerser, well, why did we go up to the river and not do it that way? Yeah, you guys did it like that with the hunched over cave person. I'm going to just jump up in the water and be, yeah! rather than the man who helped transport the Dead Sea Scrolls out of the temple. He's like, well, I wear a silk shirt. Fuck you from the tin meeting. God said, yeah, God, that albino, he really don't like being in this book wrong. Taking God out of the Bible, he was an albino. Yeah, it's a cult. It's 1650. I understand. However, time to get rid of the book is because God himself was albino, and God himself being albino didn't like you to take him out of the book and say it wasn't in it, and it miss out on every word in the Bible. The Yeshua the Messiah ben Yosef himself was also albino, and you missed that one because you didn't think about King David being albino, and you didn't know that King Solomon wasn't albino, so you missed out. I'll go grab it. So Matthew's Bible 1537 beside it was the 1602. You can't read this one, but I like looking at the pictures. The Fyone Fyne of Judges, which is spelled right as Sabah. I like that one because it sounds like Sabbath. I really like how you've heard of those who broke the Sabbath 3 times. Chronicles 1537. So I'm going to flip again. The Key of Solomon the King. You see, this was a really important one to get over the misrepresentation of the Davidic covenant in your pedagogy of having a false legend of a false book of how it came to become, and you get your fingers out of the Bible. You're wrong about it. The Davidic covenant was right here. So it's presenting this celebrated work. They did it wrong. The student of the occult science, some of the prefatory remarks are necessary. So they did it wrong. This was an occult. This is medieval wizardry. You did this book wrong, cult organization. This book became over there. And it's all medieval. It's all 6,000 year. Wow. Do away with the Bible because of 6,000 year earth Jesus. 6,000 year earth do away with Bible because of cult, and because you even had it still, and be done because of Bible, guys. Because you have it, you didn't understand it at wow, wow, the old and the new, you miss God. Through John 1:18. Good, done, done. Through, out the back door. We're done. All Revelation made sense at which one? Revelation 16:17. Thanks, guys. You're done. The earth being inhabited, as have been said before, unto the great number of celestial beings and spirits who are by the subtlety and provision of know the places where treasures are hidden. So fuck on the yeah, honor Grandpa Seth a little bit fucking better, you morons. You're such a stupid, ignorant cult. You're magic proof golem. You're all so dumb. You're all. I need you to just. I can't really think that well. Why would I just go to work tomorrow? It's Sunday today. Why'd you go to church? Why would you do it again and keep repeating the same fucking thing over and over? Give up on Bible. You missed it. It was medieval. Be done with Bible. Cult over organization. You were preached a medieval sermon today. If you went, hey, be done with preaching. Done. I felt good. I have a spleen back. You'll be done. Serious. So let's see. Now that I'm magically in tone to get my spleen back. That kind of tickle. Thanks, Will. They'll always has a knife up again. You better get this one right. Yeah, in order to properly carry out the greatest and most important operations of the art, various instruments are not necessary as a knife, which a white hilt or another with a black hilt is short length. There's like a fucking God, Australia, come on, 65,000 years. You can't get over that. That meant you're medievally invalid, stupid. Why can't you get over that one? 65,000 year present Australia collapse for them. Buff on the popcorn questions. Accept reality. Accept reality. Australia is a real country. Accept reality, world. Thanks. Help them turn off. They're a cult. Australian Aboriginal. Help them turn off. America, you're all mentally ill with cult on the internet. Collapse your cults, your churches, be done with them. Do at the same time. Do it all at once. Be cool with it. Just do it. You don't need the Bible to know that it's invalid. You just be done preaching it. And then read it slow and just don't do anything. Just don't go to church. Don't go to school. Wake up for a while and when you're 5 years old, start to handwrite the Quran in the United States, and over there in the Pleasantville, they're smart also. They're doing the same things. But why is nobody pulled together utilizing this internet thing to come to a stable agreement with the age of the earth? Yeah, that's because the Bible's always been in print. So just give it up. No, wow, the stable impression is that in the year 2020, we finally gave up on preaching the Bible. We're finally done. No more preaching a sermon on a mount that wasn't there. Wow, get no more Bible. No more preaching a sermon on a mount that wasn't there. It was a medieval legend. No more. Be done with. You're done. Be done with cult. Be done with your legend of Jesus. Be done. Be done, cult. Be done. Be done. Just be done. So even Northwest Public Broadcasting agrees at the same time. Be done, cult. Come on, guys. We need reality. You guys to turn off as cult. Be done. Be done. Be done as cult. We're $28 trillion in debt in the United States. Be done as cult. Get over it. You're a cosmic consequence. Got questions? That cult still there? In '99, you came up and you're still here in 2020, and you can't turn off your cosmic consequence, little cult. And you just couldn't think your way around the 1611 Bible and what to do with it because it was invalid. And Jimmy Swagger did it again in a little cult year cosmic consequence of keeping the 1611 Bible in print. The cosmic consequence of keeping it at Jesus and keeping a legend of Jesus elsewhere. And your cosmic consequence got questions that cult a newspaper article about Moses, God, who's albino. Don't Coyote of Africa from Tintamiri. I'm Ben David. I'm blowing marijuana in your face to get over not having a Bible correct. You ever watch every word, every line of it, and I have to recite most of it back from memory. So God and Moses spoke face to face, and uh, two, two times in Torah, and the third place they showed up. But there's over 200 places where God and Moses were speaking face to face, and Moses came out of the tent a meeting with his handwritten note of what they just spoke about at that moment in time. And while he didn't say Israel, you're going to get Auschwitz later, he did leave enough residue in reality that he was an albino sitting right there. And so you missed that Jesus was a legend in King James tradition. The Bible is an albino. He was actually a legend. Jesus himself was a Greek translation, misinterpretation of all Earth history. Oh, you couldn't get it out of Greek legend format, and from you couldn't actually see through the layer of the English legend formation of the English Bible into the English legend of how you couldn't turn the Bible off at, you couldn't figure out your own history and things like that. So, hey NASA, what is it now? Yeah, it's the seventh millennium. NASA. Where you can tell us a little bit more about the 140 trillion times the amount of water you found, which you did a pretty good job. I'll make referential note that cult on the internet can't take observation reality, any reality. So it's a little bit different than that when it just fits right into their thing. The 1611 data is the 1610 inertial data and rises and birth defects Washington state doctors like myself concerned. I'm a retired engineer. I've flown airplanes. Yeah, I've betted a Scud missile. So you need to just sit back and watch your cult go and do the same for the Pope. Is what you guys need to do. Seriously, as a cult, just do it as a cult because you're a cult. We're going to learn about the Pope and his processes of keeping in the regalia, but not doing it. And we're just not going to do anything and not doing anything and not teach anything new. We're going to accept that Jesus was the false, take him off the cross and just not teach. And say we'll do that to collapse the church in Rome. And at the same time, taking the Bible out of print to rip the Bible out of Trinity College. Hey, you needed to collapse, right? Even having a Earth history around you that you didn't gather any data on as you were walking out into it. So, how old are the Alps? 770. That's what I learned in school. Did you study geology or not? You had to put two and two together to come up at least what happened. So, the Kennewick man, 9,200-year-old vessel remain. He happened. He was for real. The invalidation of the 1856 treaty is for real, and you having the Bible in print is still for real, and you just need to puff on Pope for that. That's still for real, and that's still for real. GodQuestions.org. There's still a lot of verses to make happen. You're not done. Puff on Pope in Bible. Be done. Be done with cult. Be done with cult on the internet. How to get the internet. Wow, we're done with that one. That one was Revelation 16, verse 17. Go to my website, www.7angel scroll. I'm Ben David. Good to meet you. And you just turn off his cult. Be never again teach the Bible. We need to be done with all of the Bible because Jesus was a legend. And go with that one. Never teach the Bible. We got turned off as a cult. And not even we got pretty much threatened that if we didn't stop teaching the Bible, that I'd have to file a lawsuit because that entire book is about me ripping that Bible out of your dipshit dumb hands in order to show you don't know a fucking word in it, and even God out of it. That's a binding agreement. You're done. So you told us you couldn't see God and you didn't know how to read words. Thanks. You're done. Right on, Colt. We're done with you. Ask him. Fuck. Fuck. Yeah, you invalidated your interpretation of the Bible. It was invalid when it got it didn't count. It's always been invalid. It's mostly your fault for keeping it and not paying attention to any reality, which was that Jesus wasn't for real. So I need to smoke a cigarette. I'm going to. I'm more hungry actually. That's what I want. But I'm a cult organization. You guys need to turn off. I'm serious, guys. You're so far wrong. It's not even fun. It's not even cute. You've let that Bible remain in print far too long, cult organization. Far too long, Jesus. Far too long. Far too long. The Bible in print? Far too long, guys. Far too long. You've had the Bible in print far too long. Far too long, cult organization. Stop teaching it. It's an invalid medieval. Oh, we're done. Oh, yeah. That's why everything was broken. Nobody could see anything around it. Oh, I forgot I was on. Sorry about that. I was making some food. So the relationship to the Dead Sea Scroll relationships. Each time you open up the Bible, you have to show the austerity and authority of the Bible. To hey, I have this. I understand this word of this text. The 1611 manuscript is a 1611 book. This book is still 1611. Dudes, take God out of a 1611, you get left in not being able to read anything in literature anywhere in all of your science, you took God out of it. The only thing about this book that is printed in, let's see, um, a guide for religious workers. It's got a huge guide. They used to pull out a shit in here like this. This is all medieval invalid. How to not read this book properly if you must know the truth. This is, hey, how did we get it wrong? Parables and miracles of the Bible, Old Testament. How did we misinterpret every story following a legend of a book we couldn't read, a book you couldn't read, a book you didn't notice God in it, and you took them out of it. And when I was done years later, what was wrong with it? Genesis 1:9, is that Pangea? Yeah, it was. Oh, whoa, yeah, that's the age of the earth. It took me how long to get through it? Well, I noticed it in 92, and I can, yeah, tried to correct the church in 2017. Hey, the hill right there. Hey, guys, Australian Aboriginal, for a year and a half, you're kind of a waste of my time. Guys, you are a waste of my time. Got questions, got called. This is a medieval invalid. You're a waste of my time. You're only a cult. The Bible is medievally invalidated by you even having it and keeping it in print and not understanding it. So it's just gone. There's nothing in there, including anything but a legend of Jesus. He's a medieval invalidation of the Bible itself. So they didn't put that, but they have it quite here, like the Q Thomas theory broke it out at when some of those other books are got on this. So the book of the books, thousands of years ago. So multiple thousands in this one. It was said of making many books. There is no end. Yeah, that's what happened with the Bible. Actually, you got every word in it wrong, and they made up a legend around it somewhere else. Even to what's a quasar? Does God have any fingerprinting in the zodiac? Why is the letter Hey in the Hebrew alphabet? Did you think of that one? Why does it show up as Hey? Google translate God, God. God. No, that's to pray towards God to get to my dog. Yeah, type thing. Welcome to the temple of the dog. Yeah. Bible medieval invalid. How we got our English Bible? How we got it? Let's see. Original language. Our English Bible is published in several translations or editions. The King James, the most prominent of which are the authorized. So you had the authorization of the. Yeah, we understood that with the Book of Mormon relationship also, but you didn't follow along with the Mesoamerica at all. And so they have up there in New York. Yeah, I had to be close because that didn't happen. The connective union, well, capping of the Dome of the Rock over there, and you got that. Stop circumcising your girls. I'm the Mahajadai guy. Yeah, I got to collapse the church in Rome. I got to collapse the false prophet of the Mormon church. I collapse all y'all, because we got a cult on the internet. Collapse all churches because of it. Easy explanation. Do it. Do it. Because you don't understand a word in the Bible anymore. You've always had a false legend. It's been time. So you didn't keep track of it at all, which is why it looks like, oh, they got that one wrong. Oh, shit. Go running scared. It's the Bible. So we just have to get rid of all your interpretations. That's why that's that way. The act of the apostles of the early Christian church told a little bit from the beginning of the human race, which was when. Pretty sure that was the Australia stand up when we were just in dream time. Thanks. Until the advent of Christ. So we're taking him off the cross. We're done now. God dealt directly with man. So when he was there face to face with Moses, I'm going to put my tabernacle among you. I'll walk among you, and if you're going to be not, you got to shit outside of the camp. They had to walk, a block away, but they even shit in the hole in the ground. God didn't even let trees be close to the camp. He's right in there with the gold of the tabernacle right inside of that tent with those people who got ostracized later. Dude, 1611. Cult on the internet. 1611. Cult on the internet. Still. 1611. Cult on the internet. Still. 1611. Cult on the internet. You're still invalid. Chronologically. Let's see. The Bible is not one book, but a collection of books. So they got that right. It is not even 80 books. It's try will never know. It's a weird fragment of an imagination. The Bible itself, just a layer in time, you had this thing called the Bible collapse your church in Rome because you had it and be done. You had a false interpretation cult on the internet. Be done with that. Be done. The legend of the creation narrative done. We're done. It was a legend of a creation narrative you didn't understand. We're done. I figured that out was a legend from King James. We're done. We're done. We're done. We're done. We're done. We're done with the Bible. We're done with the Church in Rome. We're done with the Mormon book too. That's part of why I did it. Washington State geology needed it. I was 13 years of age when I sat on the glacial erratic Nile Valley, where you got the easy pickouts of how many volcanoes are around me and what knocked that big glacial erratic, how to get there. Oh yeah, I learned about that one actually. I actually learned that specific glacial erratic, how to get there. Did it pop out from a volcano? No, it didn't look like it, but it did. It did kind of smooth down, and it didn't become a small little pebble of grain of sand. That was a beautiful glacial erratic. I followed his path for about 7 miles. Took it a really long ass time to scrape his way along the canyon and where it was at. What are you looking at? Stalagmites, stalactites. Yeah, they're all old. The dust of the sand of the ocean is pretty deep. Your interpretation of Torah, the dust of the sand of the ocean, you had a pretty wide interpretation. Nothing. So where else can we turn it off tonight at? The independent translation since 1611. In addition to the groups of scholars, turn it off as scholars. Yeah, medieval scholarship on any of these in prep, anything in English. You got a medieval. Wow, we had some brain fart to keep a book in print still. Why? It's Jewish legend. Don't use it anymore. Don't teach it. Nothing from Genesis, nothing from Exodus, nothing from Leviticus, nothing from Deuteronomy, and start to handwrite it. Because I was all face to face verbatim. So no scholarship prior existed in any reality with the 1859 through to the year 2020 cutoff cult. We're done. You're medieval, whatever. So medieval brain fart. God masturbated. The individuals undertaken to produce translations based on the Greek they couldn't understand, and the Latin they confused them, and you kept the legend of Jesus in the 18th century when the The rhetoric was often diligent, and you still got it all wrong. You're all combating something, a unified inability to read the same book well at all, and it's just invalid in English, and you can figure that out. So you're all in combative devils to each other, and you're all, I can't figure anything out. I can't even figure out if the news is right. What's my horoscope going to be tomorrow when the was it going to be in the paper? I hope they told me that the sun's going to shine tomorrow when I look in the newspaper. Oh, did you not read it? No, he did. He never reads the news. So he missed 9200-year apostle remain. He doesn't give a shit about. Doesn't believe in the age of the mountains. Yeah, I know. He doesn't even believe. Doesn't even believe in the Bible. Doesn't believe in God. Bible Church doesn't believe in God. Doesn't believe in the words of the Bible. Got to close the Bible because of it. Get rid of it because of it. Bible Church doesn't believe in God. Doesn't believe in the Bible. Hey, what would you do with these two verses about God? They're not for real. That's Jesus right there. Man, you guys are dumb. Don't know your book. You can believe any Jewish legend, and you did. Gravity. 3.14159 meters per second squared. Get rid of your book. Thanks, NASA. Good job, Richard Dawkins. I'm proud of you. Learning how to pray a little bit. Go to my new website, www.seventhangelscroll. That's the best I got. The year's not 2020. It's the 7th millennium, I think. And I'm not joking. The fact the Bible has been in print this long has been an erasure all the way along. It's what being in print. So the modern pastor can't see it, which I'm doing this thinking I'm doing a good job teaching a sermon I thought I barely remember and I stumbled into. So I went to the grocery store and I got a box of milk and it was sour and I had to write a funny about it and tell some addition. I heard from God. I heard from God. Sure, while you're masturbating. The 2020 prophet. Way to go. Mm-hmm. The 2020 chronologist, you're a moron. So in this book, it said, once upon a time, God wasn't in this book, it said, but you didn't read it that well. Boom. It had to be read like that. It's a bad joke. When you read it with the once upon a time, the creation of heaven on earth, 4004 BC. God and Moses spoke face to face, and Moses wrote down, and they got right up here. But that's somebody out of this thing up here that invalidated every other word past it. And it's that 4004 BC thing that's just not even correct. Nowhere, anywhere close to any reality. It's how long do you even permit this thing to get out there and valid cult on the internet? And so the book being an invalid, just medieval invalid, I can't do anything but throw it back at you and say, no, yeah, I know you thought it, but it's not. Let's collapse your churches and get the Bible into your school. For even having this in the Bible, Swagger, you're done. Stop teaching it because of all the Torah is valid, but Jesus isn't. And you couldn't discern which was which. By keeping it as a legend. No, hey, how'd these books come together so I can make sense out of them for a Jesus guy who's not for real? English legend from 1611 Bill. Still there in 1859. And we followed it down and we tracked it down, and it's an antique medieval invalidation of the entire Bible, guys. as I explained, the Bible was invalid to begin with when ye made the deductions, so you got to go back then to get right. Blood of your daughters of midnight, you had the reality of the earth. With Kennewick Man, 9,200-year-old fossil remain rises in birth defects. Washington state doctors like myself concerned with that's a real pastor. So is a real the volcanism, the volcanic history of Washington state. You don't seem to even think it is for real. Yeah, that hill is not. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's your retirement. You weren't supposed to have been here, you moron. 1996, you weren't supposed to have been there. So Kennewick Man, 9,200-year-old fossil remains showed up in the newspaper right after, and you're there when Lord Kelvin's is still thinking about shit, and you're still here. It was a medieval. So you weren't actually able to legitimize the King James Version of the Bible cult on the internet as a medieval. You had to be able to do that to understand any word in it. And it's entirely medieval invalid. It had to go with the medieval science you don't understand, which is a form of alchemy that you made up. It's why was Isaac Newton an alchemist, and what was his form of alchemy? Well, what is that philosopher's stone? What are you doing as you're doing that? Well, you found gold, maybe. No, in some cases they did. What were they doing? They found big. That thing's heavy. Okay, yeah, burn off the dross and see what's underneath it. Hey, wow, gold. Yeah, I thought it didn't exist. I found it. You know. I know where to find that shit if you when it was golden Havala before they picked it all up too. That was the Middle Ages. That's still about where they think they got the Egyptian amulets and gold. Fuck, the Jews were pretty wealthy when they were walking around in the wilderness. Pick up a dolphin skin and you got a hippopotami in your Great Ape Legend of 4004 BC. No, that one didn't happen. Jimmy Swagger did fuck up the Bible though. Rather than turning it off at James Ussher chronology is invalid, he just kept with 4004. We have to turn off the Bible at James Ussher chronology is invalid and see what it actually said to do about that. Which is what I did. I had the King James Version of the Bible hanging from the ceiling, and it was a lot of work. Live, eat, breathe, and smell, and got more books on the history of the Bible than you have books in print. Fuck. Look at all your. The Bible said this. The Bible said that God's not in it. On John 1:18, they got it wrong. Wow, that was not what that one meant. Oh, fuck, invalid Bible. Wow, way to go. That meant you're invalid. Cult. Very disappointed in you for being so invalid. Cult. I'll decide if I send this one to him or not. They're just the origins of the King James Version of the Bible. This is a good article. I like a handwritten draft, which is what I explained. You just handwrite into it to notice God, put him back into it. An archive yields of unexpected discovery. Yeah, such as Moses writing shit down for you. So in 2015, they didn't know how to do this one, so don't feel too bad. You never thought to do it correct. But however, that you never thought to actually see what the Bible said and told you to do about not understanding a word in it is a little bit of a misfit, but having to do with the Dead Sea Scrolls you got left. Cult on the internet. Guys, you're not expositors, you're a cult. Is this painting real or fake? I'd say it's probably just neat. Well, yeah, real or fake what? New York Art for Forensics. Cool. Oh, um, detect forgeries. Yeah. Okay. Talking about a cult on the internet. Yeah, I detected a forgery, a better one. It's a cult on the internet. They can't read a Bible. They can't tell that the year 1611 is still present in the Bible. And then they forgot that the earth's not 6,000 years age because they follow the biblical legend. And they just simply refuse to accept reality now. It's a really weird conundrum to remain at. So, got questions that cult a really weird conundrum for you to remain at. The Bible is invalid till you collapse. It'll remain invalid. Nothing in it, but you're not supposed to have it. So we got to get rid of it. That's why I'm not teaching a sermon. What did Jesus not do? Preach a sermon. Way to go. We'll keep a track of the Bible. Way to go. Medieval legend. Preaching a sermon. Worst sermon that Jesus never spoke. It's the best sermon that plank out of your just a cult.